नमस्कार.
ನಮಸ್ಕಾರ ಸರ್. ಹಲೋ, ವಾಯ್ಸ್ yes, I actually muted. I think I'm all right. I've joined the group now. Hello.
Yes, you are audible. Could you please with your
I've muted the camera. Unmute ಮಾಡಬೇಕಾ ಸರ್? Shall I unmute the camera?
ಇಲ್ಲ ಸರ್, ಮ್ಯೂಟ್ ಮಾಡಿ, ಮೈಕ್ ಮ್ಯೂಟ್, ಕ್ಯಾಮ್ರಾ
We'll start the session in few minutes.
Namaskar. Am I audible?
Yes, doctor, you are audible.
Namaskar. A very good evening to one and all. I, Dr. Jyoti Khudnapur, on behalf of Hindu Janajagrati Samiti, welcome you all for today's session. Before we begin today's session, there are some instructions for all participants. Every second of this satsanga is important. So please take care that your mic is muted, and also your video is muted. You can write notes of what you have learned about spiritual practice from this session in your notebook so that it will always be useful in your future. The more you participate in satsanga, the more will be your efforts in spiritual practice. With this wave, let us all participate in the satsanga wholeheartedly and with concentration. If you have any doubts, any queries, any questions, you can raise your hand or you can chat in the chat box, and we'll be having, at the end of this session, we'll be having question answer session. During that time, you can unmute and you can ask the questions. With this, we'll begin session by praying Lord Ganesha, the god of intellect, for blessings to understand today's session at the level of Chaitanya, that is, divine consciousness and intellect. I'll chant sloka. You also can chant with me. Vakratunda Mahakaya Suryakoటి Samaprabha Nirvignam Kuru Me Deva Sarvakareshu Sarvada. I offer my prayers at the holy feet of my Guru, Paratpara Guru, Dr. Jayan Balaji Attavale, and Jagat Guru Bhagavan Sri Krishna. In the first session, we have understood that whatever we have, the distresses like physical, mental, psychological, the main root cause for about 80% is spiritual in origin. And in the previous session, we have learned about the chanting, that is Kuladevata deities chanting and the Sri Gurudevadatta chanting. So today in detail we'll study about the benefits of chanting. So whatever we are doing, they have some benefits. So we need to understand what are the different benefits of doing nam jap or chanting. In the previous session, we understood mainly about the importance of chanting of family deities, that is Kuladevata name, and chanting of Dattatreya name, that is Sri Gurudevadatta, and how to do the same. We understood that the chanting God's name, that is Nam Japa, is a superior spiritual practice in the present Kali Yuga. Somewhere you may have heard that Sri Krishna Paramatma he depicts that uh, Kali Yuga nam japa yajñosmi. In Kali Yuga, japa is equal to yajna. If we chant God's name, that will be equal to whatever the yajna homa will do. So, in present situation, that is in Kali Yuga, doing Nama Japa is a superior spiritual practice. Many of you might have already started doing Nama Japa or might have been doing so earlier too. Some of you might also have experienced the benefits of Nam Japa. Nama Japa is the vital step in sadhana. So, today we are going to learn in detail about benefits of Nama Japa. So there is a scenario, everybody have come across the scenario when we ask or inform our kids or our small children in our home to just study, to sit someplace and study, they will not listen to us. When repeatedly after behind them also, they will not listen to us and they will not study properly. They will do, but not with a proper way. When we explain them about the benefits of studying properly, and if they will not study well, what will happen in future about their life? When we'll explain about benefits and everything, then they will start studying properly. Then they will understand the importance of studying. So not only in material life, but also this theory will apply in spiritual life too. So whenever we know the benefits, we'll do it by heart, with our wholeheartedly will do. So when we understand the importance of the chanting, then we do more and more. That is, we increase in quantity. When we increase in quantity of chanting God's name, automatically the quality will also increase. What do you mean by japa? Jakaro janma vichedaka. Vakaro papa nashaka. Japa depicts that it destroys, which destroys. Japa is that which destroys our sins and liberates us from the cycle of birth and death. That is called as japa. That is jakaro janma vichedaka. Vakaro papa nashaka. Previously, we have understood that chanting God's name is an easy and complete spiritual practice. Unlike others like doing puja, doing vrata, they have some restrictions. But chanting God's name don't have any restrictions, like restrictions of place, time, ritual impurity, etc. These all will not apply to Nama Japa. What is special about Nama Japa is it benefits both good and bad people. Whoever in this world, whoever chants God's name, they will get benefit. Not that good people will get, not that bad people who are chanting will not get, not like that. Whoever are chanting, they will get the benefits. It is stated in Srimad Bhagavata that just as fire that is unknowingly or knowingly thrown on a piece of wood is sufficient to burn it down similarly. That is, if we knowingly or unknowingly we throw a fire on the piece of wood, it will burn. It will not, it will burn definitely. Like that, chanting God's name, whether done with full understanding of God's name or casually, it destroys man's sins. But we need to understand fully because we need to increase our nama japa. We need to increase in quantity as well as quality wise. So when it comes to nama japa, we so many people will think that it only has got spiritual benefits, but it is not true. The chanting God's name, along with spiritual benefits, it has got mental benefits as well as physical benefits. So, how the chanting will benefit psychologically as well as physically, along with the spiritual benefits? Let us understand the mental benefits of chanting. So, when we start chanting or nama japa, it will increases our mental strength. It maintains our mental stability. It removes our mental stress. So it balances our it balances our mental state, mental health by increasing mental stress and decreasing mental stress. It increases the mental stress and it decreases the mental stress. By that, it maintains, it balances our mental health. So, mental health, mental strength is important in everybody's life to achieve anything in the life. So, we not have mental strength, will not succeed in life. So, because of this, the world in the present world will be suffering so much, is suffering so much. You can see in all the disciplines, all the age group, from child, small child to old person, in whole world, they are suffering from one or the other way. Everyone are under mental stress. You can see that school going children are stressed about studies. Housewives are stressed about household works. In another place, working people are always under stress because of many reasons like their work, incurring their seniors, displeasure, salary rise, etc. On the other hand, older people are also under stress because of their diseases, future of their children, etc. On the other hand, the rich population are also under stress because how to make money more. whereas the poor population are concerned about how to run their daily lives. So at the present scenario, everybody are under stress. Nobody are leading happy life, like stress-free life. Nobody are having mental strength. So to increase this mental strength, to reduce our mental stress, the chanting of God's name has a major role. How it has got major role? We'll study in detail. According to the WHO Health Organization, about 71% of the world's population report feeling less confident due to mental stress and feels negative and depressed. So you can think about how much how much it is how much it is serious this issue is, how much it is serious. It is very much serious because 71% of the whole world's population is suffering from low confidence due to stress. According to a study in 2018 in India, about 89% of the population, that means among 189 individuals, are suffering because of mental stress. Whereas in another study in 2019 depicts about 6.5% of Indians are suffering from serious mental or psychological issues. The number of those depressed, many have increased this year due to corona. So we can think that these mental stress may be due to external situations or may be due to internal situations. But it will be shocked because external situations are responsible only for 8 to 10% of mental stress. About 90 to 95% of factors responsible for mental stress are internal. So this stress, it affects our mental health as well as physical health. So when we start chanting helps to reduce this stress to a great extent, and it is beneficial in most of the diseases of the mind. When we start chanting Nama Japa, it keeps creating impressions of God's name in the subconscious mind. We have conscious mind and subconscious mind. The subconscious mind, when we chant continuously the God's name, Nama Japa, in the subconscious mind, there will be a creation of the God's name. So thereby, there is increase in the concentration. And continuously when we'll be chanting, so our thought process will be decreased, our frequency of thoughts will decrease, so it calms our mind. And it is the most important and effective tool for reducing obsession or unwanted thoughts. When we'll be continuously chanting, so we'll not think about unwanted things and we don't have any obsessions. And you can notice that most of the problems in our life are mainly due to inappropriate speech in an inappropriate situations. So Nama Japa is another form of silence and it reduces such problems. Many vices such as lying, getting angry, and personality defects can be overcome by Nama Japa. So it is very necessary in our life to have qualities like introversion and introspection in order to increase the number of virtues in self. So Nama Japa is the tool. It makes it possible to increase both these qualities. When we start chanting, so we'll have less thoughts, more concentration. We'll be will be observing ourselves. So we will be inculcating the qualities like introspection and introversion. So by this all mechanism, our mind becomes very calm. So when our mind becomes calm, and when will be when will be divide of all this like anger, those will be removed from our mind, then our mental strength increases. When our mental strength increases, it will aid physical elements too, and our mind will become healthier, so our physical body also becomes healthier. So this is how the chanting will decrease our stress and it will increase our mental strength. So main issues in our life are due to unwanted thoughts and these different issues. When we concentrate on one so these slowly these will stress will decrease, and we'll focus on what to do, what not to do, what to think, what not to think. Then our mental strength, mental stability will increase. So along with this mental benefits, we have physical benefits too. In the previous sessions, already we have discussed that the physical, mental, or spiritual distress becomes evident only when its presence in a person becomes 30% or above. That means, so whenever a person is suffering from a particular type of physical disease, mental disease, or spiritual disease or distress, it becomes evident only it is more than 30% or above. So what happens when we start chanting? When we start chanting, so because of our introspection, because of our introversion, our spiritual strength, so what happens? We this within before 30% only will find out what it is. The distress, physical, mental, or spiritual distress will find find before only. Then we'll think about that cure. Then it is very easy to treat in a milder form. So it will help. This chanting will benefit to become evident before in the milder form only. And some everybody have noticed, somebody have noticed that, maybe have noticed that the patient may be suffering but will not get any this in the investigations there is no any signs and symptoms, but the patient will be suffering. So this may be because of the spiritual reason. When we chant, what happens? Our destiny will decrease. So will that distress will become more evident. So we can treat very effectively along with the spirituality. And Nama Japa is also beneficial in many physical elements and diseases. If somebody is having burning sensations in one's body or mental stress, one can chant Shri Chandraya Namaha. If one has urinary disorders, coughing, or swelling of the body, they can chant Shri Mangala Namaha. Sorry, sorry. If somebody are suffering from bleeding disorders, they can chant Shri Mangalaya Namaha. If they have any urinary problems, then they can chant Lord Surya. So because the heat created due to this chant is directed towards these organs, the toxins accumulated there are destroyed. However, it is not important to take medical advice along with this chanting of gods. It is equally important to take medical advice and take medicines along with these chants. Then it will be 100% beneficial. So you can see in this slide the Sanatan's text, that is chants for curing ailments. Sanatan Samstha has published a text called Chants for Curing Ailments pertaining to this. It is doubtful if medical facilities will be available to each one of us in the coming adverse times. So you can notice, you already have noticed, maybe noticed in this corona period. So everybody cannot avail every for everybody the medical facilities will not be available. You must have heard news about sufferings of people not getting sufficient medical care during this corona times. Chants for curing elements can prove health times. Details regarding the different chants to use for different diseases are available in this text. This text is available for online purchase on the website, that is www.sanatanshop.com. It is not the purpose of this satsanga to teach to chant for which disease, but to explain the science behind Namachak.
Namaste, doctor.
Hence, if you have any doubts in the text, chapter is Namaste.
Now, doctor, is it audible? Am I audible? So till now we have understood what are the different benefits with respect to mental health and physical health. Now we'll understand the spiritual benefits of chanting God's name. The root cause of several physical and mental elements that man suffers from is spiritual, that we have already in detail understood in previous sessions. So if the root cause of a problem is a spiritual one, then the remedy of that problem should also lie in spirituality. So the Nama Japa is an excellent spiritual remedy. Many of us have experienced at some time that a person is ill, but nothing is diagnosed by a medical doctor. The medical tests also come out to be normal. In this context, we must understand that destiny is the important factor behind diseases of the mind and body. In this scenario, the Nama Japa is the remedy. Nama Japa can help to overcome mild destiny, and it lessens the severity of moderate destiny, and it gives strength to endure severe destiny. We have understood what is destiny in previous sessions. Many a times, due to mental stress or due to the surrounding environment, a person experiences the presence of distressing aura covering all over his body. For removing that, as well as for removing distress due to one's dissatisfied ancestors, Nama Japa is beneficial. For removing defects in the Vastu of one's residence, rituals like Vastu Shanti, Udaka Shanti, etc., are conducted. Even then, to prevent the formation of distressing vibration in the Vastu, chanting is very beneficial. So this will remove the negative vibrations from our house, and it will give strength to endure the severe destiny, like that. And also, when we chant God's name, it reduces the attachment also. We know that attachment is the root cause of all sorrows and the foundation of all diseases. So when we chant God's name, attachment to material things in life is reduced. Why? Because God is bliss personified. When we start chanting, holding tightly to the God's name, which will drive away all sorrows. Because of chanting God's name, love towards God is increased and attachment towards material things will decreases, and ultimately the sorrow vanishes. Hence many saints have glorified chanting the name of the God. Let us try to chant the name of the God with more focus, love, and from the bottom of our hearts. We will learn more about how to do Nama Japa in such a way so as to increase its quality and the various ways of doing Nama Japa in our next session. So now I think we all are clear how this chanting God's name, Nama Japa, will be having beneficial to spiritual aspects, physical aspects, and mental aspects. How it will balances as a whole, our health. Now we'll do some subtle experiments. We know that we have five special senses. Clarification of doubts we can do later. Before that, we'll have some experiment. This experiment is called as subtle experiment, subtle dimension. This experiment is to increase our the subtle consciousness, to increase our subtle consciousness. So we know that we have a five special senses. More than that, that is called a sukshma parikshe. That is, this is the subtle dimension experiment. To go deeper to go deeper and deeper, we need to experiment in the dimension of, that is, subtle dimension. We are going to do two chantings, each 1 minute. So we are going to note down whatever we are feeling, or whatever it comes in your mind. You can note down. Later we can discuss. So we have, in the next slide, we have that chant, that is Moraya. So let us all chant the name Moraya for a minute. Close your eyes and chant for a minute Moraya. And note down what you have felt. Next, we'll go to another chant, that is Hey Ramba. Hey Ramba, we can chant for a minute, and what we feel, that also we can note down. Okay. After this both chants, what did you feel? Anyone can unmute and can share your experience with us. Anyone can share your experience. This subtle experiment is to develop subtle sense, that is Sukshma Jnana. After which chant are you feeling better? Let us unmute and try to share your experience with us.
Hello.
Yes, doctor.
Yeah, I feel it is better. Chanting Moraya, it was more of expiration, while chanting Heramba, it was something like inspiration was more.
Doctor. Like on respiration, there was a little bit change you have observed, right, doctor?
Yeah, yeah.
Yes. Okay. Anybody? Kindly mention your name and name of your district before sharing. Okay, then.
I am
Let
Dr.
us.
Kamalnath, who spoke just now. I am Dr. Kamalnath.
Yes, doctor.
Yeah, I spoke just now. I am Dr. Kamalnath. Yeah.
Okay, doctor. Thank you so much.
Hello, this is Dr. Srinivas from Bangalore.
Yes, doctor.
I'm not sure what I felt, but I felt Heramba was better feeling than Moria.
Right. We'll discuss about that also.
Yeah.
I think whatever you have felt, that is right. So
Okay.
let us Okay, thank you so much,
Thank
Dr.
thank you.
Srinivas. Let us look into the spiritual aspect of this experiment. Moraya Gosavi was a devotee of Lord Ganesha. Moraya Gosavi is a saint. He had taken Samadhi in Chintwad, Pune. Though Moraya Gosavi was a Ganesh devotee, chanting name of God is more beneficial than that of a saint or devotee. Whatever we have chanted, Moraya, that is a saint's name, not a god's name. And Heramba is the god's name. That's why Moraya, that means, so we should not chant the name of saints or incarnation. All the incarnations have had just 5 to 10% of God principle. Instead of chanting Moraya, if we would have chanted the Lord Ganesha, we might have felt better. Means because 100% Ganesha's expression will be there. But the saint who is a devotee of Ganesha, those that saint name, if we have that we have chanted, that will have only 5 to 10% of God principle. Instead of doing worship of them, if we worship God who is 100%, it's more beneficial. In our history of many thousands of years, we have had many sages who have never told to chant their name, but they have told us to chant God's name, not the saint's name. You might have observed that there are no temples of saints which are very ancient, but there are God's temples. Nowadays, there are few temples of saints. Even then, there is a lot of difference between saints and God. The principle of creation, sustenance, and dissolution is applicable to all saints. This means the energy of the saints get diminished after their soul leaves the body. Later, we do not get spiritual experiences by chanting the name of the saint. Thus, after many years, the names of such saint will not even exist. Thus, from history of thousands of years, many saints were there but now are not known. But in case of incarnations like Lord Sri Rama and Lord Sri Krishna are there since long and will exist forever. Hence, chanting of God's name is more beneficial than the name of saints. I think Dr. Srinivas sir from Bangalore has experienced, even though sir don't have the knowledge about this subtle sense, but sir has experienced correctly that Moraya means the saints. Moraya means the saint's name. That's why. So this is the subtle subtle experiment. This is called as subtle experiments. Like in every sessions, we'll be having experiment of this. So spirituality, that is Adhyatma spirituality, is a practical science. It is not just a theoretical science. It is a practical sense. We are going beyond our physical senses or our special senses. We should experience all the aspects of our life. So this is one experiment which will increase our subtle sense. That is Sukshma Jnana. Now the session is open for discussion. If you have any queries, if you have any questions, you can ask. Kindly unmute, and if you have any queries, you can ask so that we can move forward in spiritual practice.
Well, Dr. Jyoti, I think there are few connected on YouTube also. So if they are able to listen to my voice, they can also type their questions or queries in the chat box so that the queries can be answered by Dr. Jyoti. And also, I request all those who are connected here. You can, without hesitation, we can discuss any queries, questions which crop up in our mind, so that none of the queries or questions left are left unanswered. So all are always welcome. You can unmute your mic and ask the questions, whatever comes to our mind. Because the questions what are answered here may help you in the further spiritual practice also, and even what we practice as a doctor also. So I request anyone who are interested can, yeah, there is a query in the chat box. Chanting Om, is it different from Nam Japa? And is it less beneficial? So Dr. Jyoti, there's a query in the chat box, so you can take them.
Thank you, doctor, for asking this question. Om is a nirgun form. All devatas are saguna form. Initially, from we are starting the spiritual practice from initial phase, like when we our school education starts from our like LKG, like that, when we slowly like that. So Om is a nirgun form of will be having Sagun and Nirgun. Again in the Sagun, different devatas. So we have around 33 crores of devata. In that, like our Hindu Samskriti or our dharma is so great because we have so beautifully arranged. Like everybody know that before there will be only one doctor for both human beings and animals. But as the day progresses, they have become separated. Like human doctors for human beings are separate, doctors for animals are separate. Then among human beings, only MBBS doctors are used to treat all the diseases. But again, then they have specialization, super specializations like that. Now again in the DM cardiology, we'll be having again different again different perspectives. Again in the DM neurology, DM nephrology, like MCH again, like that. But in our Hindu Samskriti, from the beginning only, they have made, like when wherever we are sitting, that is called as Thana Devata and Vastu Devata, Grama Devata, Kshetrapala Devata, and the god for the like Shiva, Ganesha, Prajapati, Brahma, Vishnu. So everybody's like that. We have different gods for different this one. When we when we do chanting of that with the perspective, in the perspective of that entity, then we'll get complete empowerment from that devata. Like that, if we want to start our spiritual practice from the beginning, then we need to chant Kula Devata. Kula Devata means what? Genetically also, we are sharing the same material from our Kula Devata, and also the Kula means what? Kundalini Shakti. Kula Devata, we are from that Kula Devata. Whatever Kula Devata means. So Prajapati, Brahma, Vishnu, Shiva, Shakti is these all Pancha Tattvas will be there in Kula Devata. So when we chant Kuladevata Japa, that is Sri Kuladevatayai Namaha, Sri Amba Bhavani Devai Namaha. Then slowly, when we increase, our all tattvas will become equal. Then, if we start chanting, then we are going to chant the different like Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, Om Gam Ganapate Namaha, like that. When we start beginning only like Om, it is a nirgun form, and it will be releasing more and more energy. So somebody will sustain because of their previous destiny, somebody will not. So better to, it is not in the Om chanting is not inferior than any other chanting. It is nirgun form. So slowly our mind has to, what is our goal, what is our this one, our mind has to become still like our nirvichar sthiti. We don't have we should not have like different thoughts. So slowly when we begin our kuladevata nama japa, our impressions will decrease, our this one, then we can increase like steps, that is the further step. So this Om chanting is not like inferior than that of the other chantings. So slowly after this saguna chanting, then we'll go to nirgun chanting. Then one entity will come there, you don't have this Om also, there only nirvichara sthiti will be there. So like in the following sessions we'll be learning more and more about nam japa and all. So you will be having vaikhari, madhyama, pashvanti, parahanta, like that. So in next sessions you will be understanding in detail, I hope. I think you are clear, doctor. And Om japa is beneficial. Om chanting is beneficial.
We have got
Yes.
Dr. Vatsala also on the panel, and maybe she can, if she has to add something to this on these points. Dr. Vatsala, are you there? Would you like to add some points or uh, to this question? Okay, I think Dr. Vatsala is not able to listen to the voice. I think we can take the next question if anything is there. Yes, Dr. Kamalnath, we've got your answer here. Any other queries from the doctors connected? You can even type in the chat box so that we can get your question. Okay, Dr. Jyotim, I think uh, We are clear with the session here. Uh, can we go ahead now?
Yes, doctor. We'll go ahead. So we are at the end of the session.
Yes, Dr. Anjit. I would just want to add, am I audible?
Yes, doctor, you are audible, doctor.
Hello? Namaskar.
You are audible, doctor.
Am I audible?
Yes, you are audible, doctor.
Yeah, am I audible? Yes, yes. Yeah, I would want to add, am I audible? Am I audible? Dr. Anjit, can you hear me? Yes. I would just like to add a few points to what Dr. Jyoti has already said. The Hello?
Yes, doctor.
Now, can you hear me? Can you hear me now?
Yes, doctor. Yes, doctor.
Yes.
We can hear you.
I would like to add a few points. I want to add a few points to what Dr. Jyoti has already said. The first thing is, as Dr. Jyoti mentioned, it is Om is Nirgun Upasana. So, what happens is a tremendous amount of energy can be generated if one chants Om continuously for long periods of time. Hence, seekers in the initial stages are not advised to chant Om for prolonged periods. However, if the Guru mantra includes chanting of Om, then, as we say, Guru Vakya is the final. So, in that case, the restriction about chanting Om in lesser quantity will not apply. The other thing is, in women in reproductive age group, in this reproductive age group, females, the chanting of Om can generate tremendous amounts of energy, and it may be not harmful. It may be harmful for the ovaries and organs which are located inside the abdomen, unlike men. So, hence, in reproductive age group also, we do not encourage chanting of Om for prolonged periods. As Dr. Jyoti mentioned, Kuladevata Upasana is related to the Kundalini Chakra. So if one starts chanting with the Kuladevata, then as the progress happens and Kundalini starts getting activated, one starts getting further guidance, and then one may be guided to chant Om or whatever once the Guru comes. But until such time as one meets the guru, and unless he tells to chant Om continuously or gives a mantra which has Om as the mantra diksha or the mantra diksha, until then it is better to not chant Om for prolonged periods by just one's own, by deciding on one's own, because it is the most powerful. I want to chant that. Let me give you an example. If there is a refrigerator or a TV, we will not say that large amount of electricity is correct. We will say that if we give too much energy, the instrument will not able to tolerate it. So rather we want optimum. So it is always better when not under the direct guidance of any guru or spiritually evolved person. It is always better to avoid chanting Om for prolonged periods. It is better to start with the Namajapa of Kula Devata. Is it okay?
Yes, sir.
Yes, doctor. By offering gratitude unto the holy feet of our Upasya Devata, Kula Devata, for being able to attend the satsanga without any obstacles. O God, it is because of your blessing that I was able to attend the satsanga, and you only guided me. Hence, I offer my gratitude unto your holy feet. We shall conclude here. Namaskara to all.
Namaskar, doctor.